Hi you guys, how you doing? And welcome. So it is the big event, the value event, and great to see a couple of you here already. As ever with these events, people tend to drip in late, so we usually spend a bit of time waffling at the beginning just to make sure everybody's in. Alex will be sending out messages now, little reminders no doubt, but welcome. So today's event, I am really excited about this one, because whenever we do an event, it's based on the experiences that Blam Partners have as entrepreneurs, and the theme that we use is all about trying to help entrepreneurs, and Blam Partners in particular, be better at what they do, help more people, but overcome the obstacles that they face. And typically our events are based around a specific theme that is quite a common one. And this one comes up all the time. The theme is all about value and understanding your value, the value of your products, the value that you bring to the marketplace, the value that you bring to your clients, and how you can adapt the value mindset that's going to help you get more sales, make more money, be happier, help more people, and all that good stuff that goes with it. So good to see you guys here already. And we've got Jennifer, we've got Rick, we've got Ahmed, and I know we've got quite a few on their way. But without further ado, I am recording this video. So if you're watching this on the recording, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Where were you? Where were you on the live? Probably out selling. That's what you tend to do. So let me do my tech bit. And today, as people will know, I try and do these things on my own, but quite often I need a bit of tech support because I love being non-techie. But I think I'm going to be able to cope with this one. So let's get the show on the road. And I just need a little okay, as in audibly from Alex, just to let me know that's presenting okay.
Yes, we can both hear and see you.
Brilliant.
And see the screen.
When I'm presenting, I can't see whether you guys are seeing this or not. So value yourself. So let's just start with who this event is for, and who should be paying attention to the information that we're going to be delivering today. Well, in particular, as ever, our events are aimed primarily at Blam Partners. And so some of the content that you'll see today is aimed at people that are running their own digital marketing agency. However, a lot of this content is relevant to anybody that's got a business. Business owners all face very similar hurdles, and the challenges and the ups and downs that people have in business as a Blam partner also will be faced by many business owners. And if you're watching this as a budding entrepreneur, there's going to be some gold in this for you guys, because getting ahead of the curve, if you're new to business, getting ahead of the curve by understanding the challenges that entrepreneurs that have been doing for a while face, are going to help you. It's going to help you when you do get cracking. So as anybody that's watched one of my events before, I'm a massive advocate for a pen and paper. Now, write down the stuff that resonates with you from this event. Writing it down is going to help it stick more in your head. We all tap away these days and use our notepads, etc. But science tells us it's going to stick better in your head if you physically write it down on a pen and paper. Have an open mind. Some of the things that you hear today, you may think might be a little bit woo-woo or not very sort of business-like. But all of the stuff that I like to present and all the presenters that I bring along and the questions that I ask and the things that we talk about are based on other entrepreneurs' experience, on my own experience, and this stuff, I like it to have a scientific basis. So everything you hear will have a credible background to it. So have an open mind if you hear something that, you know, might not necessarily align with your beliefs. A willingness to learn. We're all learning every single day. So just be open to that. And then pay attention. One little point that you hear today in this presentation can change everything in the way that you go about doing things. And so pay attention and look for that little nugget. So if you're making the notes and you're participating, feel free to put in the chat. We'll have curation going on in the background. Learn from others as well. So you're going to be hearing from lots of other people in this event that are out there doing things in all sorts of different ways. Have a bit of fun. Feel free to interact. And then remember, pick up at least one thing that you can implement, at least one thing, because you're going to hear loads of little nuggets today. But just make sure and promise me this, that you take action as soon as possible. We run these events traditionally on a Friday. And the temptation is to get excited about something that you hear and you think you're going to take action on, and you say to yourself, I'm going to do this on Monday. Do it straight away. Don't leave it till Monday. Take action ASAP. Every minute, every hour that you leave it from actually hearing that information, the less likely you are to take action in the same way. So do it ASAP. So forget what you've heard. Say you'll do it next week. Don't forget what you've heard is the idea, because you will forget it if you don't apply straight away. So today's agenda, who have we got? We've got this fella. He's going to be giving you a little presentation. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Grant Stain. I'm the CEO here at Blam Websites, founder of the Blam Partnership Program, and I'm going to give you a nice presentation all about value. We have got the amazing David Rahman. We are so privileged to have this guy spend so much time with the Blam Partners. The mind coach, David Rahman, is going to be delivering an awesome presentation today all about knowing your value, knowing your self-worth. And as ever, he's going to get to the core of it in a very insightful presentation. We've got a round table of Blam Partners today where we're going to be discussing value. Christina, Janani, John, some of these people you'll know, some of them you won't. John Bugg, John Richardson, and also Super Sub Marius is gonna do a little spot with us as well. Now we may have a bit of difficulty getting a couple of these people to join us, but I'll come to that at the time. We'll see whether they've got there or not. But we've got a big cross section of partners there that charge in lots of different ways and value their products in lots of different ways. So that round table is going to be fascinating. And then this guy, I cannot tell you how excited I am to interview Mr. Peter Blantanis. What a guy. This guy is an entrepreneur. Now, for those of you who don't know, an entrepreneur is somebody who's an entrepreneur but actually has a job, who works for somebody else. He's a Blam partner that now works with a Blam partner. Fascinating story. I can't wait to share it with you. I'm going to be interviewing Peter. He's actually the leading Blam salesperson in the entire group of partners. So you're going to find out today how this amazing guy makes up to 9 sales a week. He's actually made 9 sales last week in 1 week. And you're going to find out how he does that, selling the Blam Partnership products and services. So without further ado, it is time to hear from myself and all about knowing your value. Getting paid what you are worth. As I said right at the beginning, this subject comes up all the time in the Blam Partnership Program. It comes up all the time with people in business. And I'm going to share with you today some of the insights that I've understood in my journey of how to get paid what you are worth. In particular, how to get paid what you're worth if you're selling the Blam Partnership digital marketing services. So a little bit about me for those of you that don't know me. So I've been, I'm the founder and the CEO here at Blam. Blam Websites is the business. I've been running digital marketing agencies since 2001. So that's when my first marketing agency was started. I used to work with big corporates, but when Blam Websites was set up and the Blam Partnership Program was aimed at helping small business owners, I find it so much more rewarding working with other entrepreneurs like me. And it is an absolute privilege to be able to deliver the value that we deliver to the people that we work with. And I do that every day of the week in terms of delivering value to partners, to you guys, to the majority of you guys that are listening, and to the partners' customers. And so my time is spent coaching partners, helping them understand how to run their digital agency, and trying to educate and motivate and inspire them to build successful businesses. Absolutely love it, by the way, guys. Love my job. So what does value really mean? Now, I had to look this one up because I think trying to articulate it from my perspective is what I'm going to do in a little bit. But let's just see what the dictionary says, because this is quite interesting. It says, the regard that something is held to deserve the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. So in other words, your support is of great value. So just trying to get this definition on this word value. Now there's a few different definitions. Principles or standards of behavior, one's judgment of what is important in life. So this is getting quite profound, isn't it, the word value? They internalize their parents' rules and values. So it's quite a powerful word, the word value. Let's look at another definition. Estimate the monetary worth. So this is where a lot of us see value. They think about money. His estate was valued at £45,000. But value is not just about money. It's about a lot of different elements. And then we've got consider someone or something to be important or beneficial, have a high opinion of. So in other words, she had come to value her privacy. Now, the interesting thing that occurred to me when I looked at these Oxford Dictionary definitions is that a lot of value goes hand in hand with people having gratitude for receiving that value. And I just think it's worth pointing that out right at the beginning of this presentation, that when you deliver value, you get gratitude back. And gratitude's a really powerful emotion. A lot of people talk about gratitude in entrepreneurial circles as a means of enhancing your success. So if we can deliver value in a way that we get gratitude back, that is a fantastic place to be. So this is a very, very important subject. Okay. So in the context of our business, when dealing with the prospects, value is perceived by the buyer when they consider a fair exchange between our solution and their problem being solved. And this is something that comes up a lot. When we solve a problem and that is a fair exchange, then value is given, value is provided. And as I said, gratitude will be the outcome of it. And gratitude is a fantastic thing to receive. But value works on both sides. So if we don't value our services, then how can we articulate the value to our clients? And this, I think, is getting to the crux of what we experience with Blam Partners, getting to the point where we value our services so that we can be passionate about delivering that value. Now, if you don't value yourself and your products, then the whole foundation of your business is at risk. How could you possibly be confident and be genuine about making a sale, that exchange where you deliver something of value in return for the money that you ask for it, If you don't believe in that yourself, then the whole foundation of what you do is at risk. So it's vitally important that you understand that if you don't value yourself and your products, the whole foundation of your business is at risk. Now, valuing yourself, I know David's going to go into that quite a bit more. So I'm going to focus more on valuing your products and services as a Blam partner, or whatever business you might be in. Now, here's something that you hear a lot. Now, I'm hoping everybody that's watching this has taken the time to invest their time to hear about what sales coaches teach us. I do quite a lot of sales coaching, and I remember this being one that was very difficult to get my head around at first. But sales coaches, they always say, it's never about the money. It's about the value. Now, an example of this that I've heard somebody say recently actually is that, you know, if you said to somebody, well, that website is going to cost you $10,000 and for a 5-page website, but I guarantee that it's actually going to give you $50,000 back. Does that make the website expensive? Is somebody going to say, well, that $10,000 is too much money? Because the value, it's a return on investment. It's the value that makes that price appropriate to the return. So when we are delivering our products and services, we need to understand the value that they can deliver. And therefore, if we sell the website, for example, at the price that we would sell it at, which is significantly less than that, the value is still exponential. Articulating that is key. And that means that believing in what you sell is worth more than all the training you can buy. So all the value that you deliver is worth more than anything else that you can get anywhere else. And that is important for you to believe in. You've got to believe in what you sell is worth what you're charging for it. So if you're worried about the price the price that you charge, what can you do? So if this is you, and I know partners get this, they worry because their prospects are giving them price objections. But like we said at the beginning, all the gurus are going to say to you, it's never about the price. So let me see if I can give you some practical tips to help you up your value game, to help you believe in the value that you're delivering. Because if you can believe in it, you're going to be able to articulate it. And you know where it starts, guys? It's a really, really obvious one. Know how your products can help your customers. You've got to know it inside out. You've got to know and you've got to believe that your products can help your customers. Now, for me, that's easy. That's natural because of the amount of experience that I've had where I've seen that happen. Now, question is, do you believe in the impact your products and services have on your customers' lives? Do you believe in it? Let me show you why I believe in it. And I've got 3 little case studies that I'm going to show you. So these guys came to me a few years ago and their business was in trouble. They're an engineering company. They do metal pressings, and they're a kind of a boring, let's churn out millions of little widgets made of metal in all different shapes and sizes. But their customers are big companies. They're aerospace companies. They're automotive companies. And their branding was awful. And their website was really boring. And what happened was they had to make loads of redundancies, and they were in trouble. And they brought in a guy who was a turnaround specialist. And he came to me and he said, we need to completely redesign the website. I know from experience that when big businesses look at my website and they look at the brand and then they look at the social media and the blogs and everything that's written, they judge us. They judge whether or not they think we are up to the case, up to the job. So I want to completely revamp everything. And so we brought in the content writer, we got the blogs done, we redid the brand, we rewrote all of the website, we redesigned it, and we then upgraded all their social media. We did the SEO for them, and then we did the monthly blogs. That company has gone from having to look at closing the doors to 5xing the size of that business in 3 years. And guess what these guys say? They say, because our brand is now up to speed, and when somebody looks at our business and they check us out on social media, which they will do before they even make a phone call, everything looks fantastic. So what is the value of this website? These guys spend about 1,500 quid a month with us, but how much money have they got back? They've got back millions in return. The business could have gone under if we hadn't come in and helped them and give them the advice that they need, the time and the energy and all of the expertise that helps them get to where they need to be. And that was about 3 years ago, and their gratitude is fantastic. Their managing director phoned me up actually just about 6 months ago, just to let me know how happy he was with everything that was going on. And it's one of those clients that you just think of all of the employees that are now working there, all of the people that now get paid, that feed their families, because the business has grown off the foundation of their marketing material, their branding, and all the stuff that we've done for them. If you want to check out that website, if you're a Blam partner, metalpressingandstampings.co.uk is the website to have a look at. A lot of you use that one in your portfolio. It's a great case study. Okay, this one is probably my favorite one, actually. Now, this one, I'm actually seeing these guys on Sunday. I'm at Silverstone on Sunday, completely at their expense, where they're going to be picking me up at the gate with me and my dad, taking us to the hospitality suite where we get wined and dined, where we get taken to the pits, where we get photographs with the drivers, where we look at our nice logo that's on their car and on the wall of the pit lane with their fancy McLarens and their Mercedes GT that are racing in the Premier British GT Championship at Silverstone. The guy, Martin, who runs the company, and his dad, whenever I go and see him, his dad gives me a big hug. His mom is really nice to me as well, and they're all really happy to see me. And the gratitude is overflowing. Why is that? I just built them a website. Why are they so literally emotional? I've seen them emotional with the gratitude that they pour on me when I go and see them. And twice a year I go completely free of charge to this, what would be really expensive, fancy hospitality that they put on with all of their other clients. Why is that? We just built them a website. When I went to see these guys, they were struggling. They were really struggling. They didn't know anything about marketing. The guy who runs the company is an ex-Le Mans winner, a young guy called Martin, and his dad had sponsored him from a young age to be a racing driver. He then got to the top of the tree, became, one of the best racing drivers in the world. He actually won Le Mans, and then he raced over in the American racing, the oval racing for years. Then came back to the UK with his young family and set up his own business, a motorsport business, racing in the Premier GT Championship in the UK. And his dad helped fund him. His dad's got a business, but they were struggling. Martin was new to business and he knew nothing about marketing. He was struggling to get sponsors. He'd had a bit of help as well because he had a business partner when he first started, but his business partner was a famous actor and he got really famous and busy, and he ended up having to leave the business. And he turned to me and he was like, how can you help? How can you help me? So the first thing we did, we got his branding sorted. We built him a fantastic website. I'm a bit of a motorsport fan, so I made sure I helped him. I coached him. I gave him some coaching, business entrepreneurial coaching as well, and just helped him get things straight. We got the website live. It's an awesome website, like all the websites that the team build. But the website was actually so awesome that Top Gear, the famous TV program, were looking to partner with a company, and there are dozens and dozens of these motor racing companies in the UK. But on the back of, and they told them this, because they liked their website so much, the way it was designed, the way the information was put across, they asked to partner with them to do a whole episode about training young drivers and putting them straight into the hot seat of a GT championship. When that episode went live, the work poured in. They got massive sponsorship deals. The business just went from strength to strength. And Top Gear told them it was their website that attracted them to the business, their website and their branding. And that is why I get this emotional outpouring whenever I go and see them, and I get this free hospitality. And they literally cannot do enough for me when I go there, particularly from his parents, mainly because his parents hasn't got to fund him anymore because he's now making money. But literally by building a website for these guys, we've changed their lives completely. The whole crew, the pit team, the team's growing from strength to strength now. And for me, I just feel this massive sense of gratitude myself and pride. And it makes me feel quite emotional about how we've managed to help these people. And so this is the episode. You can go onto the website. You can see how they managed to put the episode together and how accommodating they were. It really helps that they're such nice people. They're so genuine. But it's just a fantastic story. If you want to check out the website, it's paddockmotorsport.com. As a result from this, they are going from strength to strength. They've now been approached by Amazon, and they've just finished recording for a movie where they've used the motorsport team in a movie that's going to be coming out later this year on Amazon, but for the Amazon Prime for the on the film side of things. So absolutely fantastic, all based on the fact we did a website for them. And imagine what the exponential return on investment it has been for them and their business. And then finally, I'm just going to show you this one. This guy came to me, a guy called Zar, who I did have an instant connection with this guy. I must admit, he's the driest guy you'll ever meet. He's got a really wicked sense of humor. But he just sold his pharmacy business. And his dad ran a building company, rather a property company. And he came to me, I was introduced to him, and he said, I've never had a website before, and I know nothing about marketing. I need a website. I'm going to start a property development business. Can you help me? So I said, yep, of course I can. So I sat down with him, showed him the ropes. We built my website. We did his social media for him. I showed him how to use LinkedIn. We gave him lots of love and attention, and his business has gone from strength to strength. This guy now is a multi-millionaire. All of the leads that he's got come through the website. We see downloads every day of the property. He's now got lots and lots of different developments that he's done. He's now one of the biggest developers in the Midlands for apartments and refurbs. And he's just absolutely smashed it. As you can see, I got on really well with him, and I helped him with some of his social media. I did some videos with him because he was very shy on camera. But all of that really, really helped. And all of his properties, when they go live, they sell out really quickly. And if you want to check him out, miapropertygroup.co.uk. These are all clients that I've sold that just, the value, I mean, Zar sends me a really expensive case of wine, even though he's Muslim, so he doesn't drink, but he sends me a really expensive case of wine every Christmas, and I get this overflowing gratitude from him because he's just so, so grateful. Takes me out to dinner to the Ivy as well. And we can't do any wrong in his business because we've taken what was no marketing, no website, nothing, and built this fantastic brand for him that he's now known for throughout our area. And as a nice little picture that I just wanted to show you, this is where, when I got invited to the hospitality at Paddock Motorsport, I took Zar along with me. So that's Zar's Ferrari in the background there. That wasn't my motivation at all to drive there in a Ferrari, I promise. But then that's Martin and Zar, my two customers that I've just talked to you about, at Donington Park. That is at a race day where we receive the hospitality. So just goes to show, guys, as well, these people that you meet, these people that you do business with, they're entrepreneurs like you. They become your friends. They become your mates. And you build relationships based on the service that you provide. I actually have got one more that a lot of you will know about, and I just want to go into some more sort of statistics with this one. A lot of you will know as a Blam Partner that we do work for a customer of mine. It's been a customer for over 10 years now. There's a group of restaurants that are all really high-class restaurants locally, and these guys trust us with all of their marketing. The reason they do it is because the stats are amazing. So this was last week's stats. One of the websites, and they've got 6 of them, 1,857 visits, 3,729 page views on one website for a little restaurant that's out in the country. And when we look at the stats, last month they had 168 phone calls, 53 form submissions, and 2 emails. So their whole business, all their bookings, people going to visit, it relies on their digital marketing. And for them, that's absolutely vital. If you want to check them out, it's lovelypubs.co.uk. And I just thought I'd finish off that little one with, this is the owner. And in the local area, this guy's a bit of a celebrity because he's been so successful with his restaurants. And I often go and visit him and sit down with him at his house. And that was a picture that I took of him and his Austin Healey, which was of interest because I've got another customer that actually restores Austin Healey's. But that's Paul there, who's the owner of all these restaurants. And again, another fantastic relationship where the gratitude is palpable, and that's why we do it. And so just to sort of reiterate how all this comes together, guys, Henry Ford really understood how this kind of relationship they build and how the knock-on effect of the work that we do affects, you know, more than just what we normally perceive. As I've just shown you these stories of these people where we've delivered work for them and it's been life-changing. But it also has life-changing, you know, the knock-on of that is for all their employees, their customers, that get the benefit of using their services because they found them on the internet, and so on and so on and so on. And Henry Ford, when he wanted to get his production line people motivated, he was trying to figure out a way, and he went down and he built the first ever production line when he's making the Ford Model T. And he asked one of his employees that was knocking a bolt into, all he had to do on the production line was knock a bolt into a part of the car. And he said, "What do you do?" And he said, "I knock a bolt into the car." And he said, "No, that's not what you do. What you do is you help people around the USA go and visit their families that they wouldn't normally be able to do. You actually bring people together. Every time you knock that bolt in, you're helping another person do their business, visit their family members, and do their traveling, go on holiday, and all the joy that that brings." So when you're delivering your product and service, it's so much more than just that straightforward delivery. It's the knock-on effect that goes with it. And that's what you have to believe in, guys. And that's what you have to remember and be able to articulate. And now I should get that to work. No, it stopped working. Does this? Oh, there we go. So what else do we need to do? We need constant self-improvement. So knowing your business by learning and constant practicing. So to get to this point where we understand our value, we've got to do the work. So we should always be learning. We should always be doing. So you've got over 100 training courses if you're a Blam partner that you can be applying yourself to. And once you've done the basic training, you should always have another one on the go. We've got over 100 of them, and they're all awesome. So constantly learning will help you understand your value more. I use audiobooks a lot from mine. I've always got an audiobook on the go. I actually listen to them more than once as well so that it sticks. So always have an audiobook on the go with you, whether you're driving on the train, whether you're doing a workout, whether you're doing a run or having a walk. Utilize audio. It's a great way of actually retaining stuff. YouTube, constantly learning. I've got several YouTube channels that I listen to on a regular basis. I'm a big fan of learning all the latest with AI. I'm always listening to AI YouTube. Always be constantly improving yourself so you know your own value because of the knowledge that you're consuming. Read books. If you're a reader of a book, make sure you've got books on the go. Make sure you're educating yourself with these books. And then webinars like this. Bring yourself into more of these webinars. Make sure you're educating yourself with the latest information. And then events as well, actual physical events. If you can get to physical events, they're a great way of improving your knowledge, of getting involved. And then coaching. If you haven't got a coach, joining our sessions like that we do twice a week if you're with the Blam Partnership, or watching the Wednesday lives. Always make sure you're getting coached and you're improving your knowledge and skill sets. For Blam Partners, it's much more about your belief than the reality of what the products do for your clients. The reality is a given, but you've got to believe it. And how do we do that? Well, you need to increase your knowledge, because your knowledge builds your confidence. And when you've confidence enforces your value, because when you're confident, you believe in your value, and then your confidence inspires confidence in your clients. So it starts with building your knowledge, and then the knock-on effect comes down the line, and then you'll become that competent, confident consultant that people buy into. If you lack confidence, people can smell it. They can smell it, because your clients buy the value your services deliver to them. If you deliver that confidently, they'll believe in it, because prior to the exchange, the price is determined by that perceived value. So if you're getting knocked back on price, if people are saying you're too expensive and you believing them, it's not really that you're too expensive, it's that you haven't articulated the value to them. And then once they are a client, you can demonstrate the value with the results and the ongoing support. And if you believe in that, it's much easier to articulate it at the beginning. So that value proposition is key to your sales success. If you believe in your product's value and the client doesn't see the value, then you've either done a poor job of explaining it, or the client is a bad fit. And by the way, that's okay. Sometimes clients aren't right for us. But I always say to myself, if I think that the client is somebody that really would benefit from our products, and normally if I'm doing a presentation, I will have already determined that. If I can't close them, if I can't get them to buy from me, then that is my fault, and I've done them a disservice. And it is my obligation to do what I can to get them to purchase from me, if I've determined that as the appropriate value product for them. And as I say, I wouldn't be in front of them if I didn't think that was the case. So if you leave a client having not closed them, and you know that your products would help them, that's on you to get better at presenting the value, and then working on your confidence so that you deliver that value. And you're not going to be able to do that for every client, guys. But that's the job that we're in, is helping people make that decision, because of the way that we present the value appropriately. Now, I hope you found that useful, guys. If you want to find out more from me, if you're not a Blam partner, check me out on Instagram. Grantstain.com on Instagram is my handle. You can see more of this kind of stuff on Blam TV. We do these events once a quarter. There's loads more where this came from. Or check me out on blampartners.com if you want to find out more about the Blam Partnership Program. Hope you found that useful, guys. I am now going to stop sharing the screen so I can see you guys and see who we got in the room. Okay. Mr. David Rahman has joined us. We've got a few more joining us. Good to see you guys. And David, if you want to unmute. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, thank you. That was a really great presentation, Grant. Loved it.
Thanks,
Absolutely
mate.
loved
Yeah,
it. And
I made sure that I didn't get too much into the individual stuff, because I know that's I could never do a better job than you.
Oh, thank you. You flatter me. I saw Rick Bryan's comment about where's he's lost his invite to Silverstone.
Yes, it must be in the post, mate. Must be.
Yeah, sorry, Rick. I've got it. No. That's really great stories. The Henry Ford story is really, really great in terms of getting someone to realize the value and importance of what they're doing.
Yeah, and hopefully articulate it as well. You know, I see that, you know, on a weekly basis with our clients, the knock-on effect that appropriate marketing can have. It's powerful stuff. It really is.
Yes.
I will hand over to you now, mate, and I'm going to put myself on mute. But you all right with sharing the screen? You got all your... You're looking really sharp, by the way, mate. I've got to say, you're putting me to shame in my body warmer.
Just something I threw on. Thank you, my friend. No,
awesome.
It's always a pleasure to present with you. Yeah, happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. And I'm here. My name is David Rahman. I'm a mind coach. So I help people sort out their mindset. And I've been working with Grant for years with Blam. Obviously, I work with my own clients and other organizations. So for me, you guys and myself, we all make decisions based on our emotions. So if you notice, when you're in a great mood, you might make a better decision. When you're in not so good mood, when you're feeling down or feeling overwhelmed, we might make bad choices. So it often relates to how we feel about ourselves, and sometimes we feel we're not being valued. I was thinking about this today in the car when I was driving, and I think the two key, I mean, hopefully you might have a bit of pen and paper. If I say something that resonates with you, you can just write it down. The two things which really, when it comes to self-value and external value of us, is people experience our time and they experience our energy. So just a question that I can ask you for you to quickly think about is, where in your life do you think someone's wasting your time? And where in your life do you think someone's wasting your energy? Because time and energy are things we can't get back. Of course, we can sleep it off and regain our energy through food and sleep, but really that energy is gone. So it's up to us to try and manage our energy systems and manage our time. And this is where value comes into it. I want just to talk about values today and be more granular about it, because when we value ourselves, when we value what we do, when we value our relationships, then we turn up as a better person. And for years and years, I can honestly tell you, I didn't value myself. And it all stemmed down to the mindset. So I used to be, before I was a coach, I've been coaching for 20 years, 2004, but I've been full-time coaching for, I would say, 12 years, because whilst I was, my first job, proper career was, I was an optician. So I used to listen to people's stories and understand them and try and make sense of what they were saying during the routine eye tests and examinations, and they used to tell me their life story. But before that, I was always interested in psychology and what made people tick. And what I'm saying is, in business and in any aspect of life, the people who value themselves internally, they actually value themselves. They don't take any BS. They don't get walked over. They're more assertive. They back themselves. They take rejection much more easily, and they're more likely to be self-aware and understand the value of others. Recently, I'll just give you a case in point. Usually when somebody makes an appointment with me in my diary, it goes into my diary, which is digital, and two people recently have twice cancel appointments on or around the day for what I think are, when you make an appointment with somebody, when you make a schedule, a connection with somebody, you show up, unless you've got something serious going on. And if somebody turns up and says, "Oh, sorry, I've got some extra clients booked in," then you have to look at where you stand in terms of value. Is somebody valuing your time? So somebody once told me 2 strikes. They've got a 3-strike rule. I would say I've got a 2-strike rule at best, in terms of, if you see somebody's not valuing you, then it might be a case of that they're not valuing themselves. So we can get little clues into the psychology of our clients and of our colleagues, just by listening to what they say, plus just just observing their behaviors. So the way we value ourselves is so important. And back to myself in my 20s, 30s, I would say early 40s, I didn't really value myself looking back at it. And so it's really important that when we start to value yourself, and when I start to value myself, things start to change. By no means on this earth am I perfect, far from it. However, I would say I would value myself 9 out of 10 these days, as opposed to 1 out of 10 previously. Because I'm a big softie, sometimes sometimes you slip back. So it's all about having that focus and what values we have. So understanding yourself is something that's hugely important to me. So if I'm going to share some slides with you, let me just bring them up, if I may. Bring them up, and then I can share the screen. Okay. You. Oops. Right. Okay, so let me share. Hello, John. Okay, so is my screen being shared? Everybody, John, you can see it?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, phenomenal.
Yeah, all good, mate.
Thank you. So, preview. Right. Can you see that, guys? You see my slides?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So how to start valuing yourself today. So let me just go into the what and the why and then the how, just to help you guys out. So where did it all go wrong? So the first step really is self-awareness. Why am I feeling like the way I am? Why don't I value myself? Why do I take rejection really badly? Why does it seem like I'm always walked on? Why do clients let me down? And it all starts somewhere. So just to really point it to the past, something happens. Things happen in the past. So we get rejected. We feel we're not good enough. If something happened, we might have not been chosen to get in the football team, or we might have been rejected by university, or someone let us down in our friendship circles. Things happen, and then as this happened, it starts to degrade our self-value if we let it. So things happen, events happen like that. Parents say something. So in my case, to be truthful, I was the oldest, got 2 brothers, and I really thought that my brothers were more important to my parents than me. Okay, so that was my SHIT, not my parents, but it's something that I interpreted that they were more special to my parents than me. So things happened. Now, whether it was true or not, doesn't matter. It's what I think that matters. It's what you think that matters about yourself. So when that happens, we start creating a little narrative, a little story about who we think we are, whether we think we're good enough, or we think we are deserving of success. So subconsciously out there, if you're not feeling deserving of success, then you might actually go about self-sabotaging it. It might not be something that you actually say to people openly, I'm not deserving of success. It might be a subconscious thing. And if it's subconscious, it's quite old, which means that, for example, when you drive a car, you actually don't think about driving anymore. If you're an experienced driver, it's the last thing you think about. You just go through the motions. That's the same thing with self-sabotage. You just go through the motions without even knowing it. Teachers, so somebody might have said to you, I'm not pleased with you. Suppose your name is Jesse. Jesse, you're not as good as your brother Daniel. So I don't see where you're going to go in life. So we might pick up things from other people and then take it to heart. When we take it to heart, it can then cause a degradation, disintegration of how we look at ourselves. If we don't look at ourselves as worthy, then our value starts to decrease. We feel unloved. I remember vast proportions of my childhood feeling unloved. There was I had a 9-year-old birthday one point, and I left the birthday party and went out in the garden, and I remember sobbing, all because I felt unloved. Now, looking back at that youngster, it was my feelings. I owned them, but it was something I kept thinking over and over again, which made me feel unloved. And that's what happens to a lot of people. We feel unloved. If you feel unloved, then it's something that you're processing, something that you're feeling and thinking constantly. Rejected. So people feel rejected. So you might have a conversation with a client, and you've done all the work with the client to try and onboard them, and you feel rejected when they turn you down. You just simply don't know what's going on in a client's life. You don't know what's happening to them, where they are, but you feel personally affronted, personally rejected. That then makes you feel like, I don't want to pick up the phone. If I pick up the phone, I might be rejected again. That's the conversation which proceeds at lightning speed within yourself. And if it proceeds at lightning speed, you have this fear of rejection then. That's how fears grow. Fears don't suddenly, we're not born with a list of fears tattooed to us. We just develop them. We feel left out. So, I've had clients in the past who they go to networking meetings or they're in group situations with friends. And because they don't value themselves, because they don't feel good about themselves, they often feel left out when they don't speak up. Because their confidence has been eroded, because they simply don't think enough of themselves. And then we start feeling alone. So we start developing strategies. So what happens when you start developing strategies because you're feeling devalued or feeling not good enough? This is an internal war that you can be going on with yourself. And remember that business, for me, business is 80% mindset, 20% work. You can work your arse off, but if your mindset is one where you are self-sabotaging, where you're not doing, you seem to be doing everything, but you're holding back, then you're essentially self-sabotaging yourself. So things start snowballing within your mindset, within the way you look at the world, within the way you feel about the world. So that blueprint on the left-hand side, that's that story that builds up over time. Somewhere along the time, you build up a story. This is the blueprint process, which developed years ago based on CBT, and I've added elements to it, where if you're thinking inside, if you're thinking inside deeply, I'm a failure, even though you don't tell anyone, if you're thinking I'm a failure, you're going to start feeling I'm a failure. And this, by the way, this section here, here, and here happens in milliseconds. So then your behavior then is, I can't do it, so won't do it. So you feel like I'm not able to do it. So it really is up to you to think in, right, how do I change this? How do I stop feeling like a failure and change this blueprint? So it affects our relationships. We start to self-sabotage relationships. We start doing things like needing validation. How many people require validation in relationships, always wanting the need to be loved, the need to be complimented, the need to be reassured? That's because something inside has got into their blueprint years ago, back to this, and caused their blueprint to change. It is, you might think I'm simplifying this, but it's exactly the process, what happens to people in life. And it could be, you could be 25 years old and you could be burnt in business. For some reason, your business partner burnt you and did something behind your back. So it goes into your blueprint. That memory, that experience, that emotion goes into your blueprint. And then you start thinking thoughts such as, I don't trust people. if I have a partner again, I'm going to keep an eye on them. No, I'm not going to have a partner again. I think people are corruptible and corrupted. So you might have these thoughts coming out, and you're feeling suspicious, and your actions and behaviors are perhaps you could be talking to clients or colleagues, or in a hotel, doing a meeting or a networking meeting, and you're not your best self, all because of the event that's happened in the past. That's pretty much how it happens. So it affects our relationships, affects our romance, as I mentioned, friendships. It affects our friendships. We don't show up in our friendship as we should, because in a friendship, it's an exchange of information. It's an exchange of experiences. It's an exchange of love. It's always an exchange between people. But how can you exchange love and genuine feelings and your best self if you don't feel good about yourself? It is like putting a brake on a Ferrari. I'm saying Ferrari because Grant mentioned Ferraris earlier on. So it's like having a fast car, but putting the brake on, the handbrake on. So you're trying to accelerate, but your other foot is on the foot brake. So you can't be your best self. And I can honestly tell you, this is based on myself as well. For years, I remember when I was in my in the mid-90s, and I was seeing this girl, and she was learning to be. She was doing a PhD, and we lived together. And every few weeks, they would get together, the PhDs, with their partners, and have dinner and get drunk. And I actually didn't go to any of those gatherings because I just felt like shit. I didn't feel good enough. I certainly didn't value myself. Didn't value that I had anything interesting to say, and therefore my behavior was stay away from these gatherings. Stay away. Family, it affects you and the family, so it affects our behavior overall. We become the people pleaser. If you don't value yourself, you become a people pleaser. I wonder, are there any people pleasers in this gathering today? Any people pleasers in the house? I can't see the screen. Maybe there are.
I'll chip in there, David. I'm a massive, massive people pleaser.
Is that John?
No, but I'll take the compliments because you've got a nice voice. It's Alex.
Hi, Alex. Great. You've got a great voice too, man.
It's a radio voice.
That's a radio voice. I was going to say it's a radio voice. So people pleasing is something where we do something for people, and it's great to help people. It is great. But if it's at the cost of our own energy, and it's over and over again, it's exhausting us when we fail to set boundaries, then we're called a people pleaser. And we often do that because obviously it's altruistic, but obviously there's an element of we need to be liked. We need that comfort of being liked and ultimately loved. That's what people pleasing comes from. I used to be a massive people pleaser, but not anymore, because you really have to be. There's one word I taught a client years ago, and she was a massive people pleaser. People walked all over her. People would stop at her house for a coffee on the way to the bus stop. It was that ridiculous. And I remember one session I just said, use this one word, and the word was ruthless. And she couldn't believe when I said the word ruthless. So I said, well, it's your time and energy. You're just being ruthless with your time and energy. Anyways, to cut a long story short, she put it on a post-it note, like I said, and she ended up absolutely skewing the people-pleasing part of her to the point where she became, instead of a 10 out of 10 people pleaser, she was a 1 out of 10. It really transformed her life because they took away all the anxiety, all the low moods. So, you can use that tip, ruthless, pop it on a post-it note and place it somewhere where you really, really can see it and remember yourself. This takes time. The brain can change within 90 to 100 days. That's on average. The University College of London found out it was about 66 days, but I usually say about 100 days, something like that, to change your neural pathways in your brain for you to change a habit just like this. So per habit, it's about 100 days. If you do the work, you can change. Procrastination, that's a massive thing with entrepreneurs. And I have procrastination where I have to beat myself up I literally have to go for a walk, have a really stern conversation with myself, because we do. My procrastination currently is emotional procrastination. Won't go into why, but we have an emotional procrastination where we can be overwhelmed by emotions by certain events. But general procrastination can be based usually on fear of not being good enough, fear of being a failure, and other types of reasons why. The general procrastination is when we're trying to avoid something, not accepting compliments. So some people out there can't accept compliments, and it's because of the value, the internal value of who they are. They don't value themselves, and it's difficult to accept compliments. So when you start valuing yourself, you can take compliments. You can joke about and say thank you, just joke, rather than feeling awkward. That's the feeling you shouldn't be feeling. If someone's compliment you by your hair, not in my case, if someone compliment your hair, or compliment about your suit, or compliment you about something like a t-shirt, something, or the work you've done, just the fastest way to answer it is thank you. That's just the way it is, to accept compliments. Constantly putting others before yourself, again, that's an element of people pleasing. We may become a doormat, which is something you don't want to do. Become a doormat. Have you ever been a doormat? We felt like a doormat, actually. So deep down, we want to be liked. That's really the crux of the matter. We want to be liked. Even deeper, loved. So here's the subconscious mind. So I've talked to you about the unconscious mind, the subconscious. That's this big part here. The top part is your conscious mind. So the conscious mind is the one that makes the decisions, like, I'm going to get out of bed. I'm going to go and mow the lawn, and you constantly go and do it. The subconscious is the bit that walks your legs to the garden. The subconscious is the bit that mows the lawn, if you know how to mow a lawn. Subconscious bit is the one that moves your arms and legs when you're swimming. Once upon a time, you consciously learned to swim, and then these days you can swim because your subconscious mind is running the whole show. So subconscious mind is about 95% of your mindset. That's the bit that needs to change. As soon as you change that, you start valuing yourself, you start standing up for yourself, you start doing things for your business that perhaps you're not currently doing. I want you to actually think about this and write this down. We don't have to answer in the chat box, because I know we've got a huge amount of time. What I want you to think about is, where do you think you're putting the handbrakes on in your business? What I mean handbrakes on, in terms of behavior, what could you do differently that you're currently doing? Where are you self-sabotaging your business, do you think? And just be honest with yourself. You don't have to put in the chat box or say anything, but just be honest with, where do you think? This is a good reflection exercise. The other day, I was thinking about that for myself. I was thinking, right, my energy levels are not what they normally are. When I mean energy levels, I've got a lot of energy. What I was talking about is my inner drive, my inner fire was feeling low. Instead of being on fire, as they say in business, I was feeling like a little flame. So I thought, F-U-C-K it, I'm going to do something about it to raise my energy levels. So went on a power walk, had a really good talking to myself, because we've got to reset. We're human beings. We've got to reset, and this is going to be done regularly. Everybody I know who's successful resets all the time, constantly. And you can do the resets, like Grant was saying, through podcasts, books, coaching, through conversations with friends, go into events like this. You can do a reset. You need to do a reset regularly. It's the way I like to describe it is, call it giving your mind a good clean. We clean up. We're very good at cleaning our body. We clean our bodies. Hopefully, all of you clean yourself and shower every day. I assume you are. But we're very good at showering and cleaning ourselves and brushing our teeth and all that. But we're CRAP at looking after our minds and cleaning it. We're very poor at that. Everyone, including myself, and I have to constantly remind myself. And I'm in the business, but you have to, because we're human. It's just the way it is. We're human. So I have a checklist I do. When I coach clients, it's always a great reminder to me when I'm sharing tools and techniques. So I do these sessions because I love doing these sessions because it helps me as well. Always helps me. You get something out of these sessions, but so do I. I get to live my purpose and I get to relearn. They say you don't know something unless you can teach it. So you can see I don't have a script. I should know this stuff, but you don't know anything in life unless you teach it. The worst 3 words that people say, and I'll call them out on that. If we're having a conversation, then they'll say something like, "I know that," and I'll often then say, "Tell me more." And if somebody can't explain something in detail, then they don't know that. We just need to practice. So our subconscious has to change. That's the bit that needs to change. If about up here you're thinking, "Oh, I'm a procrastinator. I keep self-sabotaging," or "I'm going to read a book about it," or "I'm going to get help," and you keep saying, "I'm going to get help," or I'll do something about it," and then suddenly it's January the 1st and you haven't done something about it, then this bit here hasn't changed. So like Grant, and I love the way Grant lives his life in terms of taking action constantly. It is about taking action and having a rest. Absolutely having a rest. And I don't work Mondays or Friday afternoons normally. This is something that normally on a Friday afternoon I just wouldn't do. I'd be out somewhere. But you have to live your life on your terms. As Tony Robbins says, live life on your terms. And most people don't. They spend a week struggling to get to the weekend. And it is, I don't want to say the word shame, but it's more their responsibility. Once you change your mindset and your perspective and the way you look at the world, things change really fast, really quickly. So fancy starting again. Okay, this is a reset. And so I've got a couple of things to help you with that hopefully one will resonate with you, and then you can then start the ball rolling again if that's the case. And you can see here are a few strategies. Strategies, I call them strategies. So this is something that you've got to start, and there's absolutely no shame or any time in rebooting. Absolutely no. Don't wait till January. I mean, we're April the 26th today, is it? April 26th, something like that. So April the 26th today. Start today. Don't do what average Joe does and say, "Oh, right, I'll start next month. I'll start on May the 1st. I'll start after the May Day bank holiday." Do it now. Do it now. Your business is waiting for you to start, not the other way around. Once you start and change, if you change your business changes. Okay, right. Pop this on a post-it note. I am more than enough, and place it somewhere you can see it, preferably a mirror. First thing in the morning when you're brushing your teeth. I am more than enough. Or place it on your desktop, somewhere where you can see it. What you've got to do is to feed your subconscious mind. So I'm going to go backwards for a second. Right, there is. You've got to place these inside there, not there. Most people, when you read a book or do something like training today, if you don't repeat, it won't go into there. So this is the entrance. It goes in there and then submerges to become part of you there. So your job really is I am more than enough. I am more than enough. And you've got to practice, repeat. If somebody's learning to take free kicks or learning a skill such as carpentry or learning DIY, it's repetition, absolute repetition, until one day that person becomes an expert carpenter and can see and solve a problem within minutes because they know how. How do they know? It's gone into the subconscious because they've done it 1,000 times. So you might say, "Oh, well, that statement, yeah, more than that. That sounds good." Okay. The only way you're going to learn is to repeat. Repetition is the way you master any skill. It has got to be. There is no other way, because your subconscious mind will tell you that's bullshit. If it's something you don't believe, your subconscious mind or some part of your body right now, as I've said it, will twinge. You'll have some sort of feeling in your body, an emotional feeling, as your hormones and your chemicals in your body have responded to me saying that. I am more than enough. I remember when I first started learning all this, it would affect me when I saw something like that, more than enough. And it would affect me because I knew deep down I didn't feel that. I'm not better than you. You're not better than me. So anybody want to voice what they think that is? You want to come up, drop your voice in, because I can't see it in the text box. Anybody want to open up their mic and tell me what they think that is? Somebody who hasn't spoken? Come on. I'm not better than you, not better than me.
We're all a bit shy, I think, today, David.
That's okay. No problem. So this is called a power statement, and this is my book, and this is what we're saying is we're all equal. You shouldn't ever meet any client, anybody in business, and feel superior or inferior to them. You're basically the same person, but you look differently and you think differently. We're all the same. I'm not better than you. You're not better than me. We're the same except the way we think. But if you can start thinking this and feeling this, you become unstoppable. You will become unstoppable when you realize no one is better than you, and vice versa. It becomes a way of life. When it becomes a way of life, you stop doing a whole multitude of behaviors which we talked about earlier. Jenny Gibson had all sorts of issues which affected her because of the way she looked at herself, to the point where she had ended up with depression, chronic fatigue syndrome, and numerous ailments. When she managed to switch her mindset and change, her business took off, and her and her husband's business took off because of how she changed her mindset. And that was life-changing for her because it physically affected her. So our mind can affect our body. Remember, when we get anxious and stressed, we can have tension in the shoulders. Our heart can race. We can have ulcers in our mouth when we're run down. We can have stomach ulcers. We can have sweaty palms, all because our thoughts are creating feelings of anxiety or tension. And we don't pick up the phone then. We go to meet a client, or we jump on a Zoom and we're nervous and we appear nervous. Remember, when you dial it all back, it is clearly a mindset. Remember, if it's 80% mindset, 20% doing, then the mindset is going to control everything. I'm going to think about that. Tech detox. So tech detox is, I can also tell you, it's not what I do. This is what maybe you could do, but it's not what I don't have a tech detox. What I do is put my phone on airplane mode at certain points of the day. But this is something that if somebody has, for example, is having a problem sleeping out there at night, I don't have a problem at all sleeping. So what I've seen is when people have a tech detox, especially after 9 p.m., and their eyes, their retina, being an optician, I can tell you that the blue light from the devices will keep you awake, will stimulate your brain, keep you awake. And if it keeps you awake, you don't sleep, you feel groggy, you're miserable. If you're not getting a good quality sleep, it's going to affect your business. 100% it will affect your business if you don't sleep. If we're sleep deprived, it will affect you. There's a great book, Why We Sleep, by Matthew Walker, which shows you clearly the evidence of this from the Sleep Institute in California. So tech detox is really good at certain parts of the day if you want to manage your time. It's all about you managing you. If you value your business, value your time, and you don't want to be disturbed, you better switch your tech off. Because before tech, civilization still existed before mobile phones and computers. So that's up to you how you value your time. Stops you comparing. When we're on scrolling aimlessly on social media, you get the actual feeling of comparing yourself to others. Look at other people's business in this case, or relationships. You see people traveling, and it can give you that feeling as if you're not enough, you're not doing enough. Where's my life going? Where's my business going? So it stops you comparing. So tech detox is very good for that as well. Pop this on a post-it note. Don't settle. don't settle. Don't settle means it's just a complete reminder to you. So don't settle for mediocrity. Don't settle for second best. You know, if I love eating out in restaurants, and as Grant knows, I love cafes, restaurants, love food. I just love breaking bread with people and really enjoying conversations. I'm not a huge drinker. That doesn't matter. So I remember I was in Liverpool the year before, and been to a match, and then went to this restaurant, and there was upstairs, and they took us downstairs into the bowels of the restaurant. Even though the table's upstairs, they took us downstairs and put us and downstairs there was no windows. It was literally in the basement, no windows, and we were going to sit by this pillar, and it just felt really uncomfortable. So when you value yourself, you don't settle. So the waitress went away, and when she came back, I said, "Can we move tables? Please go upstairs, please, to a much better table, because we're in town and we don't really want to sit here really in the bowl." So she looked at me, surprised, and said, "I'll go and have a look," and said, "Yes, we've got a table upstairs." And then they gave us a beautiful table upstairs with beautiful views, all because I asked. And somebody who didn't value themselves or value the moment perhaps wouldn't have asked and accepted that. Or perhaps they weren't interested in windows and light and energy. But we went upstairs, and the energy of the restaurant upstairs was so much better. You know, when you're somewhere with this great energy, great vibes, well, downstairs was bleak. And so sometimes you have to really rattle the cage. You have to really make a noise and don't settle. If you don't settle, you have to say no to people when you might say yes, say no. So pop down a post-it note, don't settle. Is there somewhere in your life you think you're settling for second best? It's up to you to think that. Appreciate everything about you. You know, here's something you can do. You can, if you want to appreciate who you are, you can ask the nearest and dearest to you. You can ask the nearest and dearest to you, I'm doing some reflection. What's one great quality of myself? What's one great quality of myself? Somebody might say you're positive. Somebody might say you're a good listener. Somebody might say you're considerate. You need to know. We need to know how we're being appreciated, and also what do you appreciate about other people. Often what you appreciate about other people is what you like in life, and it's what you want in life itself. So what do you appreciate? Reconnect. So reconnect. So I want you to think about, is there anyone out there that you haven't spoken to for a while? Perhaps you haven't seen for a while and connected to. You don't have to fly across the world. We can jump onto a Zoom these days. We can jump onto a Google Meet. What can you do to reconnect with someone out there? What can you do to reconnect with perhaps something that you've done in the past? I remember a client reconnected with her love of horse riding. She hadn't done it for about 15 years. And when we did this exercise, she thought, wow, yes, definitely. Within 3 months, she was back horse riding, hadn't done it for years, felt amazing. And I asked her, what makes you feel amazing? She said, well, time by myself, David. My kids are teenagers. I've got time by myself out in the fresh air, horse riding. It's just fabulous. It's added another string to my life. It's actually replenished my energy levels and how I feel about life, to reconnect. So sometimes we can reconnect for a reason, and hers was the energy, nature, fresh air. Where can you reconnect that you think, yes, yes, yes? I recently went abroad. It was over to the Canary Islands, and it was just so nice to see the sunshine, to connect and to stop. So I've had a real busy sort of 12 months, and I wanted to reconnect with perhaps the parts of me which I think weren't experienced in life. I wanted to reconnect with the sea and sunshine and to relax. It was a really, really much needed, time away. So reconnect. Say no. I want you to think about Who can I say no today today? What can I say no to? What can I say no to? I remember a client of mine, she owned a business, but she was feeling so anxious at times of the day. And one of the things that were making her feel anxious weren't related to the business, actually. It was actually related to, she belonged to a WhatsApp group. And the WhatsApp group kept buzzing on her phone, and there were notifications coming up. And I asked her, well, how does that make you feel? She said, actually, it makes me feel nervous and anxious. I said, why? Well, there's a lot of negative stuff on there. A lot of negative stuff on there. A lot of gossiping on there. It was making me feel not good enough. Making me feel like a gossip, and I don't want to be on there anymore. But if I leave there, then they're going to talk about me. So she had to say no. And then I remember a few weeks later, she texted me to say she'd left the group. And they were all still her friends, but she felt so much more relieved. So no, where can you say no to in your life? That's going to help you move forward. Say yes. Where can you say yes to things that you keep putting off? What are you putting off in life? What can you say yes to? Is somebody inviting you out or to their place and for social occasions, but you keep saying no, keep putting it off, much like I did back in the 90s. What could you say yes to? Could it be yes to travel? Could it be yes to walking in nature? Could it be yes to a new project? Could it be yes to somebody who wants you to join their band to sing with them? What do you keep putting off? So remember, your business is as much you as it is to making money. So it fundamentally has to make a profit, make money, but you've got to grow. As you grow, your business will grow too. Boundaries, setting boundaries. So this is something that's so important. We've got to set boundaries. There's some people who might cross our boundaries that we keep inviting into our life. Where can you set boundaries? This is a great reflective exercise for you to do. Where can I set boundaries? Follow your heart and your gut feeling. Always follow your heart and gut feeling, because that knows the truth. Often cerebrally up here, we're overthinking, but really your heart and your gut. How many times in your life have you not followed your gut feeling and it's led you into trouble or regret? Follow your heart and your gut feeling, and things will go your way. I accept me. I accept me. What does that mean? I accept me. Anybody want to mention it? What does I accept me means? Or if you want to pop it in the chat box and then one of the guys can read it out. I accept me. Anybody want to comment on that?
I'll give you my take on it if you like, David.
Please, sir.
Yeah. I that phrase for me is all about sort of accepting your flaws and your what you're good at, what you're not good at, and being grateful anyway.
Fantastic. Thank you, Grant. So it is. We're all human beings. So accept that we all have flaws. We all have insecurities. We all have worries. That's just what makes us human. There's no perfect human. So I accept me. Your challenge from today is, I want to be the best version of me. I want to be the best version of me, because the best version of you is still to appear, and we'll never reach that. By the way, we're always striving to be better. We always strive to be better. We always say work out, go to the gym. We always want to educate and learn. We always want to go to nice places. We always want to be more confident. It's all about the challenge of climbing this mountain we'll never get to the summit of. It's amazing, but that's what life is, a series of journeys and events, and the journey is the bit that's so exciting. So I accept me. The last one is, I'm not defined by. I am not defined by. So I'm not defined by literally means I'm not defined by my past. I'm not defined by the mistakes I've made. I'm not defined by what people I think people think of me. I'm not defined by my social media presence. Whatever. I want you to think about that sentence, I'm not defined by, and have a good dialogue with yourself after this. What are you currently defining yourself by that is limiting your progress? It's quite a powerful coaching question, but something that you can think about to get to that next level of being you. Being you. We could talk about this for hours and hours, but we don't have that time, and I'm going to finish up now. I am excited to share something with you that I was talking to Grant for the last few days, and I am launching something which I'm going to invite you all to, should you be interested in. This is for people who are interested in actually, for want of a better word, becoming the best and most confident version of them ever. So this is for the people out there there are some people out there who say to me, no, I want one-on-one coaching sessions. I want personal attention. There are some people out there who want to be part of something, and want to do it as part of a tribe, as part of a group. And I don't think there's anything like this out there, to be honest. I said, I've been coaching for 20 years, and I don't think there's anything like this out there where that's not slave to the algorithm, should we say. So I'm developing something which is about to launch called the Hasina Coaching Hub. Hasina means beautiful. It was my mother's name, because I think life is beautiful, and it is literally what we make of it. So it's launching soon. I want to just, over this next minute or two, just share with you what it's all about and does it fit into you, because this will benefit people who they want to work on themselves, but they don't have any time. They want to work on themselves, but they feel embarrassed or even ashamed to see a professional face-to-face or even online. But they want something that's going to fit into their life, where they're going to learn, they're going to be prompted to change that mindset. Yeah, so they can do this on the go. So it's essentially a mind coach on the go in your pocket. So I've just put the slide up because I want to show you what it's all about. So there's going to be live weekly sessions on here, maybe one, maybe two, where I will be able to help you change your mindset through live sessions, which will often be prompted by you, the members. So they become members of a private platform. There'll be courses and programs that will be placed on the platform, such as courses on self-sabotage, how to overcome it, how to value yourself, confidence, public speaking, and so forth. There'll be a like-minded community. So the like-minded community will be people like yourself who really want to grow and help each other grow. There'll be daily motivational notifications, where you imagine that you get a notification in the morning saying to you something like, what's the one big goal that you want to achieve today? Or something like, here's a paragraph from an article I read recently, which I think is going to really help you in terms of focus. There'll be book recommendations on there. There'll be 5-day challenges. The 5-day challenges are Monday to Friday challenges. They'll be going on every 3 to 4 weeks, where there'll be a specific topic. There'll be a 5-day challenge, and you're all on there, and you're all able to share your daily wins. So I'm doing a 7-day free trial, and that's when it launches, and you'll all be invited to that. That's without a doubt, shadow of doubt. And you can use it on all devices. Personally, I'm using it on my phone. So join the wait list. What I'm going to do is share a link with Grant, and Grant can share with you on Tuesday next week, should you be interested to know more about it when it launches. Okay, so there's enough about my coaching app, which starts soon. Right, how do I get on this?
A quick note from me. I've been on the app for a few days now, and as David said, It's just well, first thing, as a I like the technology. It's really slick. I love the way it works. It is really slick, and it just makes it easy to dive in and out. So the kind of stuff that David does, talks about, resonates with you, then I recommend checking it out.
Thank you, my man. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, so it's to help people who want to help themselves. That's it. They who want to be coached from afar, live and recorded. That's it. So it's really easy, and I personally, I think this. I would have loved this to have been around years ago when I didn't have any self-confidence, but I certainly wouldn't have got to see a coach or a therapist or counselor. I ended up having to in the end, but if this was around, I could have done it in private, you see. And that's where I think the beauty of this is. It's going to be so convenient. That's the word, convenient, and hopefully helpful then. Yeah.
No,
Any questions, anybody? Sorry, Grant.
No, I was just going to say it's going to be awesome, mate. We've been talking about it for ages, and I'm really excited to see you get it launched because it's going to be really cool. Feel free to put your questions to David in the chat, guys. It's a bit of a different format to what we usually do. We usually go through StreamYard, so I've been trying this as a Google Meet just to see if it's going to be any better. So appreciate your feedback, guys. Any of you that resonate with what David said there as well. Obviously, we've got the app coming up, but also David's been kind enough to do lots of talks for us over the years. We're so lucky to have you join this community, David, and share your wisdom. You know, because I know you're an in-demand guy, and the stuff that you talk about is just so relevant to all of us in business. Because as you rightly said, 80% of what our success is about mindset. I would say it's probably higher than that. And all these things, people as entrepreneurs, it doesn't get talked about enough, in my view. We talk about all the practical stuff about the how, but the actual the foundation behind it, the bit that gets us up in the morning, the bit that motivates us, the bit that drives us, the most important bit, it doesn't get talked about enough, in my view. So really appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Spending the time with us.
Pleasure.
Just a couple of takeaways from me. I always try and take something from one of your talks, and I've heard you talk about this before, and I don't know why it's really resonated with me today. And that's one of the beauties, isn't it? When you do stuff like this and you listen to people, different times in your journey will resonate with different things. But I don't know why that bit where you said say yes to something and say no to something, it really stood out to me. I'm thinking, you know what? And I think it's because time management's so important. And if we are constantly saying yes, or even you might be in a position where you're constantly saying no, you've got to open up your mind to thinking, well, how can I flip that? What should I be saying yes to and what should I be saying no to? It reminded me of my not to-do list. My not to-do list is really useful. Fantastic. Well, listen, that has been awesome, mate. Really appreciate that. Again, guys, David will, I'm sure, be happy to answer questions if you put them in the chat. For those of you that are watching on the rerun, whatever platform you're on, there'll be a chat, whether it's YouTube or Facebook or whatever it might be. Just drop your questions in and we'll make sure we get those to David. Appreciate you. And the other thing I just remember that I want to resonate with is I owe you lunch. We've got to get that in the diary.
I'll take that. Thank you. Oh, no, it's brilliant. Brilliant to serve the community, actually. And, all you guys, I'm sure, are doing really well. And it's all about us doing better, and not accepting all the good stuff. We want more. So it is, what is it what's one book that you read before you loved in the past, and perhaps I can read that book again because perhaps you might learn something new from it. And like Ron said earlier on there, something resonated with him today, which I mentioned before, but it's only when something will resonate with us when we need to hear it. That's what I always think.
Awesome. Brilliant. Thanks, mate. So
thank you.
I'm going to share my screen and just talk about our next session. So just with David, actually, I did just want to say, he didn't mention it, but any of you that haven't read his book, highly recommend getting that book. It talks about a lot of the philosophies that he's put together over the years. David speaks all over the world, is a really highly qualified coach. He does one-to-one coaching, and like I say, we're really lucky to have him. But if you need to reach out to him, hello@mind.coach. If you check out his awesome website, not sure who did that for him, david-rahman.com is where you will find him. So, and now we're running slightly behind. My fault. I ran over on my call. So thanks for your patience, guys, those that are waiting for the round table. But we have got some people joining us. And I think we might have a couple of people that we've had to do a couple of stand-ins for. So Marius has now joined us as well. So these are Blam Partners. Blam Partners that are in lots of different parts of the world and different parts of their journey. I'm going to be introducing them individually. Christina, I would love to have had her on here, but unfortunately, I left it too late to invite her, so it's completely my fault. But she has said that she will join us on next one. She's recently become a mother, and so there was childcare challenges that, and again, my fault entirely. And John said he's going to try and join us. He's at a networking event, and he's going to try and jump on his phone, and that's John Bug. But Marius has jumped in for us. So what I'm going to do is stop sharing my screen and ask if John Richardson and Marius and Janani, if you could show yourselves and then just unmute and say hi. And you
Hello.
should. Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Have we got Janani? She's there somewhere. I know she was there a minute ago. Maybe she's on the phone. Well, I'll tell you what, let's start with you, John. Do you want to just introduce yourself and let us know where you're from and name of your business, etc., for those that don't know?
Yeah, hi, everyone. John Richardson. My business is Overt Digital Media. We're based down on the south coast of England in the New Forest. So I've been a Blam Partner for 4 years and a couple of months.
Oh yeah, you had your big anniversary, didn't you? I saw your thing the other day. That was awesome.
Yeah.
4 years, blimey.
4 years without a boss.
Yeah, love it. And then Marius.
Yeah, I'm Marius Kutsia. I run a company called Websphere in South Africa, and we do digital marketing and everything else.
Fantastic, thanks. But I'm just trying to get hold of Janani. She was on here. She's lost. I wonder if she's lost her signal or something. So I've just sent her a quick message. So if Janani can join us, it'd be great. She's based over in Canada. She's probably been a partner longer than you two, actually. So that will be useful. And then hopefully John Bug will jump on at some point. But we've also got a few other partners that have been with us a while, so we can bring them in. So John Gay, you're with us as well, so you could probably contribute to this. What I wanted to do today, but we've done these round tables before, and I think it's really useful for partners to hear other partners' experience in different elements of their business. And one of the things that, the title of this webinar is all about value. And one of the things that we find is, particularly when partners are new, is helping them understand the value that they deliver and the price that they charge, and how the price that they charge is a lot more to do with what's going on in their head than the actual value that they deliver. So if we can start with you, John, because obviously we've been doing coaching calls for many years now, and I always remember the call that we did where kind of the penny dropped about value. And I wonder if you might be able to help people, because you definitely started off by undervaluing the services that you sold.
Yeah, definitely. So I think one of the So it was quite an interesting time, obviously, because we just went into lockdown like a few days after I started. So I was kind of a little bit panicky anyhow. But I think overridingly, the reason I struggled with the value of what we offer and what Blam offer is because the cost to us as a Blam partner for the sites is so unbelievably cheap. I just, it almost seemed wrong to charge what I now charge. And then all of a sudden, there was at one point with a customer, and we were having this long meetings going on and on and on, and it was just, and these red flags were going up, and I thought this customer's going to be an absolute nightmare. So I'll just price it to a point where it's never going to go anywhere. And I did, and they signed up that day, and it was like, oh, okay, right, well maybe I've been doing this all wrong for the last year or so, and it was a good year, maybe longer actually, that it took me to actually come to that realization. And then I think the other thing that sort of made that realization sort of more apparent is just the unprompted feedback and Google reviews that we've got on the work and the websites that we've delivered. So yeah, it was a bit of a lucky epiphany, if you like.
Do you know what? Sorry, just to interject. Janani's joined us now. Hi, Janani.
Hi, Grant.
How you doing? So Janani's joined us from Canada. So yeah, John's just explained to us about his kind of moment when he realised. And do you know what, John? You've just mentioned something there that I don't think I'd quite got my head round. Is that because we charge, not very much for the websites, that inadvertently made you devalue the product, because even though we try and keep the prices really low so that you can mark it up and make more profit, inadvertently that had hindered your mindset as to the value of what you were delivering.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely, 100%.
So what you're saying is I should just charge more?
No, let's not get carried away. Yeah, no, it was.
Everybody else is going, shut up, John.
Yeah. So yeah, but it really, I think it was a massive part of it, to be completely honest. Because eventually, what I start, effectively, when I look back, what I was doing is giving, massive bulk discount for someone buying singular units. It's just ridiculous. It was a daft thing to do, and a very naive thing to do. But it did take me a while. Also, I think the other thing is like right at the beginning, you start with your P&L is all L, it's all costs going out, and you just think, well, just get anything I can. But it's self-perpetuating. It's a race to the bottom. It's an absolute race to the bottom, and you end up the customers that you charge the least to, take up more of your time than anything else, and expect everything. And that's a realization that took a while to come through.
And so just to give everybody some context, so what did you used to charge, and what do you charge now?
So I used to, I'm embarrassed to say it a little bit. So I discount all the way down to about 50 quid, no build fee, and 50 quid a month. What would happen with that is, so that's it was not good. Now I charge a build fee. Generally that's a minimum of £150 a page. and that's still really cheap. And I don't charge any less than 99 quid a month. My average fee across all of my customers is over double that.
Yeah, so that would be the lowest you go to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And do you find that the more confident you get with your business, the more the perceived value is, and then do you see your prices going up any further?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they will definitely. Would definitely go up further, especially the build fee. So that will definitely go up. I haven't really thought about the monthlies yet, but I think where rather than just putting it up, willy-nilly, just for the sake of putting it up, what we're focusing on now is just upselling, selling more services in. So hyper local, the new product that's been delivered is what we're really focused on in that respect. So yeah, we'll earn more from each customer because we'll sell more to each customer.
Awesome, brilliant. Okay, awesome. So John's kind of got a very what I would say a conventional Blam partnership in that he sells very much as per the training. There's no real sort of variation. Well, there's a few tiny variations, but in terms of the way he delivers and these products. But with Janani, be good to hear your perspective on this, Janani, because your team and yourself deliver quite a lot more consultancy than a conventional partner. So would you be able to just sort of elaborate and help some of the other partners understand a little bit about what you sell, how you sell it, what you charge, and how that kind of fits in your sort of understanding of the value that you deliver?
Yeah, for sure. So when we create the website, we go with the mission of overall what their goal is. We try to come to understand what are they trying to achieve and why they get their website. I straight out tell them, if you're just looking for a website, we're probably not the right people for you. Just because when we tried that, just creating the website, they come with this naive or ignorance that, oh, I created a website, now all of a sudden all of these people are just going to funnel into my website and I'm going to make all these sales. And I go, no, this doesn't work like that. So what we do is we actually ended up getting a concept called story branding done, where I got the certification and I also got my whole team to do the course. So whoever writes the content, they need to first go through that course. And so what we create is a more experience, as in saying, user journey, because I'm coming from a bank background. So I worked with a lot of UI UX team as well to make sure that the whole experience online is make sure that it's captured, and it's not just, okay, you know what, let me just sell them something. So that's what we kind of do. We do a whole holistic package on, so I have 3-4 people touching a website. I have a user design person touching a website. I have a content creation person touching a website. We obviously, after we've done all of that, it's only we send it over to Blam after we package that together and say, here's kind of what we want. Or if we don't have the UX part, but then we kind of find three samples website and we say these components need to be we kind of handhold all of the components of the website. And then we also do a lot of next step strategies, and okay, how are you going to get people into this? So we kind of, there is obviously clients who are just, okay, I just want a website, here's my monthly service, and there are clients like that. But our target audience is more on, what does it look like to grow, and conversion is what we focus on. So we package based on that. So our packages is, just roughly it starts anywhere between, and this is Canadian dollars, so anywhere from 3,000 to anywhere from 6,000. If they say I don't want the UI part, is probably where we can be a little bit more flexible, but we highly recommend that part. But then the content creation part to the design part is where the user experience part we take on. I don't know if that was helpful, Grant, but
yeah, it is, because like I say, you kind of I mean, we'll come on to Marius in a minute, who's obviously got a bigger team, but you've got a team yourself. And so you've taken on that consultancy piece right at the beginning to ensure that the value that they're going to get is exponential. So you've got no problem with charging them a few $1,000s up front because you know and you're confident in what they're going to get in return.
Yeah, and they see results. Like so far, when we have put that, it's a little bit more heavy lifting. I totally understand that, but so far, especially in the last end of 2023, I think we nailed the framework finally. So as soon as we launch these websites, within 2 months, month and a half, they have tripled or even 10x growth their traffic.
Wow.
Right. So that's why they see the value behind that, right?
Yeah. And I guess from your perspective, I touched on this during my presentation, you know, the gratitude that you get from customers that, you know, that see those kind of results.
It's rewarding and they're excited. You know, obviously for them, it's very nervous to kind of take that first investment. And I totally understand that as well. And I tell them as well. But this is kind of where they have to take that risk in order to see. And I can't guarantee them that's the results, but we will do everything we can to get you guys that results. And so, yeah, no, for sure. It's very rewarding to see that results.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Marius. So thanks for being the super sub.
No problem.
But I'm really glad that I brought you on. We've got a chat with Peter obviously after this. But one of the things that I'd really like to ask you is we've got a lot of partners in South Africa, and you're obviously, you know, smashing it over there with Webshore. You've had I've seen over 200 customers go through from Webshore. And you know, you've built a brilliant business, but the prices that you charge are broadly similar to the prices that we charge in the UK, and yet we'll have loads of partners that will say, oh, you can't charge that in South Africa, you know, it's too expensive in South Africa. In my area it's different because of X, Y, and Z. How do you feel about that kind of you know, sort of thought process?
Grant, I want to just go back 10 steps. I remember pretty much the same as John. I would say for the first 2 years, I took what Blam told us we could sell for, and I sort of based my prices on that. And then every single customer I signed on, I did them a special deal with some discount just to make sure I don't lose the deal, because I was so driven. I just wanted to get customers and I just needed to get the show on the road. And I remember, I think up to 20 or 30 customers, I actually discount every single deal just to get the work. And then at some point we got so busy that I had to employ new staff. And I think somewhere there, the realization came to say, but if I keep devaluing my work and I have to employ more staff, I actually make less money. And I think it's at that point where I started doing, there's no more special deals. This is the pricing. You don't like it, go to the next guy. And I must tell you that we don't have issues with that, Grant, to be quite honest. I mean, on Wednesday, we had a call in our hyperlocal. It's a huge solar company in South Africa. They found us online. Peter went to see them yesterday, did a proposal. They signed this morning. Money was paid this afternoon. It's probably our second fastest deal again that we've ever done. And it was based on pricing with no discounts. This is our prices. And I think it's about telling them what we deliver. So if I have to distinguish what do we do different, at first when I was inexperienced, I used to try and get the deal. Now I say, I can deliver the following, but this is the price to do it. And I think that's somewhere where the change came about, where we know what we're going to deliver and what we can say to prove, or we can give them proof afterwards, which means we can charge a higher price. So the prices that you guys suggest, I think this year we increased our prices by 20%. I just said that there's no more, I'm going to employ 100 people to do the job when I can do it with 80 people and make the same amount of money. If that makes sense.
Thinking big, baby. And I remember when we were in South Africa as well, because obviously we collaborated now. So Maris and I are sort of are getting a lot of the delivery done over in that office where you're sat. When I was over there in September, we did a show together, to launch Blam Africa, and there were 2 other agencies there, and they were both more expensive than us.
Correct.
And yet I get it all the time with partners in South Africa who have this mindset and this perception that they have to sell it cheap. And I'm using South African as an example because they see us as a British company, and they've got this assumption that we must be selling more expensive because we're in the UK or in the US or Canada or wherever. But the truth is the value far exceeds the cost. And therefore, you know, even if you did sell it slightly cheaper in South Africa, it wouldn't be significantly cheaper. And it's all about mindset. And a bit like with my presentation, that mindset, the value comes with confidence. And about the stories that I've heard from you guys, I mean, Janani, what was it like when you first started? Did you sell at a discount when you first started?
Yeah, I think so. I go back to my really depressing invoices or proposals from I think 6 years ago, and yeah, I don't know if I was that much discounted, but because I took the concept from the bank and I brought it in here, and I was going in with this mindset that I have to be able to help these people, or else I'm just doing injustice, or I'm just wasting my time and their time, right? And that's where I had to figure out, okay, if I'm going to help these people, I need to be able to, it has to be minimum this much. I can't go any lower than that. So it is definitely, we have increased our price range in the last, I would say last 12 for 18 months, but yeah, for sure. But it wasn't like 50% or anything like that, I would say. But yeah.
So just interestingly, if you say you've increased your prices, have you seen any downturn in business as a result of putting your prices up?
No.
So, and this is that thing, isn't it, where a lot of people don't believe it when they hear it, that it's very rarely about the price when you get a complaint, you know, about or an objection that you deal with in the sales process. John, just unmute, mate. Just chip in.
So I sort of, some of the Janani said really resonates as well, in the fact that if, and I say this all the time in every sales meeting I'm in, or every call I have, is if you're just after a website to prove you're real, right, and to have a presence, then we're not the right agency for you. You know, and that's because you do need people that, you know, see the value in their website, because a lot of people don't. And you're better off getting rid of those people, moving those people on, because they will, you know, they'll erode your thought process on how valuable it is, and just keep chipping you down, and then it becomes infectious, I think. And those people, they don't want, you know, they don't want a £50 service. They want a £200 service, but they just want it for £50. So you do have to find the right people. But I think as long as you stick to your guns, it's you will get there. You will find them. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, and I think
to add to sorry, Grant.
Sorry, go on, Janani.
Yeah, just to add to that, I find them, John, as well, they were just draining my energy, where I wasn't able to focus on the people who actually appreciated us. I had clients who started from the beginning. They're like, wow, I love what you guys do and all of that. And I can't even give their time because I'm trying to spend time on, you know, these people who don't have any value to it, right? But exactly like you said, I think it's just, I print out even nice wiki proposals, and I say, here, go to Wiki, go to GoDaddy. They will be able to help you a lot better than I am. And I actually show them the website. I show them the pricing. I do that extra handwork just so that I don't need to do that I don't have to be stuck with them for months and months about their complaints, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
There'll always be some people that, you know, you won't be able to convince of the value of what we deliver. And think as David Rahman sort of talked about, that's more about them than it is about us. I mean, Marius, I think you'll sort of back this one up, is that a lot of those guys that you showed a discount to at the beginning probably aren't your customers anymore.
Yeah.
But I think when you start and you're eager and you really want to get your first customers on board or your first few, and I just think you do silly stuff with your pricing. It's not like the Nike factory create a new running shoe and that's the price. It was different. It was, this is the price, but I'll do it for half the price just to get you on board. I did lots of specials.
Yeah.
I mean, in hindsight, it was the wrong thing to do. I should have just grown my company, have my value, and this is what we do. Because like Janani also said now, those customers was also, back to the 80-20 rule. Those customers paid us 20% of our income, but they used 80% of our time.
Yeah, I would. I concur with that. Also, I think, and all of those customers that I discounted heavily, they're not customers anymore. And the moment I started charging a lot more, I got less customers. Initially, I got same customer acquisition rate now, but I got less customers and I had much more time on my hands, so I could deliver a better service, and I was actually making more money, and I wasn't working 12-15 hour days. So it was, you just have to hold your nerve, really, and just understand that if someone starts going, well, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you take this? Well, I want to go ahead, but you're going to have to do something on the price. It's just, you've got to be brave enough to move them on. And it's easy to say that now, right, where I can afford to move them on and not worry about my mortgage or, how I'm going to, put food on the table and what have you. But in the beginning, it is very difficult, but it's just vanity. I'm not sure what the right terminology is, but it's almost vanity, because you're just thinking, yeah, I've got more customers, I must be doing well, and you're kind of fooling yourself, really, because you're not. You'd be better off, having one customer paying you £100 a month than 4 customers paying you 50 quid a month, even though commercially, there's more revenue coming in, but in terms of your quality of life and that self-perpetuating discounting and sucking energy away from you, you're much better doing that and maybe taking a little bit longer at the beginning, but it does, it does turn around quite quickly.
It is a bit of it's what I always say to partners when they first start out, do what you've got to do to get the deal so that you can understand the system and the process. But the quicker you can get to the point where you understand the value of what you deliver, the more you'll get to that stage. It took you a while, John, I admit.
It did. Yeah, absolutely.
But
too long.
Different people take different amount of time to do it. It's almost like it's the learning curve you have to go through in order to understand what not to do. And even though, when I'm doing my coaching, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, this is what the value is. And I still acknowledge that you perhaps have to go through it and have some poor customers and some people that don't get you in order to, get past the other side. Marius, chip in, mate, feel free.
Yeah, so if I can give a piece of advice, it will be the following. The moment you give discount, you're telling people that your service is not worth what it's supposed to be worth. And then they don't value that. And I think that's where the point comes in, where a lot of those customers, like John also said, we don't have them anymore because they don't value our service because the price was too low. So obviously anybody will do it in the beginning because you're desperate or you just want to make success. But it's the wrong thing to do because they're not going to value you or your service because it's cheap. Yeah,
no, totally agree. So
also, I mean, sorry to interrupt. Also, for me, it was also, a mathematical thing, right? Because, I could acquire 4 customers at 50 quid a month right now, give me 200 quid in revenue, but I'd be paying 80 quid of that straight out to you guys, right? So I'd only be earning 120, whereas if I got one customer at 100, yeah, I don't, you know, I'd earn 80 quid out of that a month, so 40 quid less, but I got a quarter of the work to do. And, you know, I'd have a much better customer anyhow. So it's also, you know, just mathematically it made it, you know, it didn't stack up to discount either.
Mm. And I think the key thing is there with, you know, for new partners, it comes back to that presentation that I gave about once you believe in the value, because I think the biggest challenge people have is they find it difficult to sell at the price that they should, because they still, as David Rahman put it, you know, their unconscious is telling them this is too expensive, and they're almost trying to deal with a price rebuttal before they even get one. And I had a chat with a partner the other day who was suggesting that they went and, you know, how can I give a free app or a free website up front, so, and then they'll buy it afterwards. Well, the truth is people do not value what they don't pay for, you know, and it's a fundamental thing in the world. And that, you know, why would we go to all the effort and use all of our skills to produce something that has real value for free on the whim? Please buy my website. Now you've seen it and you think it's brilliant, because automatically you've devalued it by not charging in the first place. And so you've got to understand also, as Janani does hugely, he's valuing the fact that this website comes with you, and you're a dedicated entrepreneur with all these skills who wants the best for the client, who wants the best, the success for the client. And that's what they're buying. They're not just buying a website or hyperlocal or whatever else. They're getting you. And that is an absolute freaking bargain, because you guys are awesome, and you got to believe in it. You got to know that. Awesome. Brilliant. Guys, I hope that, I think that's been really insightful. So I hope you guys that are watching this on the rerun or on the live, that you're new. These guys are all obviously really successful. They're all smashing it. They've been partners a long time, and but they were starters when they started. You know, they were where you were once, and everybody's journey is different. And as you can see, we've got 3 completely different ways of doing things with the 3 partners that we've got here. I got a little message off John Bugg as well. He apologized. He couldn't get reception. The joys of living with in Norfolk, he said. So he's at a networking event and he couldn't get into us. It's a shame. I'll get John in on another call, because John charges a ridiculous amount of money. He charges an absolute freaking fortune. And you know, and he sells at volume. So I would love to get him on another call so he can kind of talk about in a bit more detail how he perceives the value of what he delivers. But for the guys that join me, really appreciate you taking the time. It's great to have you on, and really, I know the other partners will get a lot out of this. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Grant. Thank you for
Thank you. Good luck, guys.
For the finale, we have got Mr. Peter Blantanis. Is he there? There he is. How you doing, buddy?
I'm well, and you, Grant?
Fantastic, mate. So we've got the most positive guy in the universe joining us today. And presumably you're just in the other office from Marius.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Awesome. So do you mind if I tell your story a little bit just to introduce you? Because I feel like, how long have we known each other now?
Now it's 3 years.
3 years. Okay. So so Peter and I first met when he applied to be a Blam partner. And you know, I'll let you fill in the gaps prior to that afterwards. But from when we first met, you were clearly an entrepreneur, you know, somebody who was very enthusiastic, dedicated, professional, ticked all the boxes. And you went full on into your partnership. You joined Blam. You went full on to your partnership, and you pretty much smashed it from day one. But I think what happened, and is that you kind of got a little bit over enthusiastic, handed in your notice to your job, and then went full on with your Blam partnership, and then things started to go a little bit wrong. Yeah, you lost a couple of customers, and you had a few challenges along the way, and it kind of it stuttered along for some time. And then in September, we were over in South Africa doing a show, and so Marius put on the show, and you came and helped us on the stand with a few other partners. And as ever, your enthusiasm was awesome. Your sales prowess was legendary, and we all got on really well. And we had a great time. We had a really good time. We all got to know each other a lot better in the flesh. And so Marius and I were talking after the show, and Marius said, "God, Peter's good, isn't he? what a sales guy. What do you think if I offered him a job?" And we collaborated. And I said, "You know what? I think that's a brilliant idea." And cut a long story short, here you are.
Yeah.
You've basically taken over Marius's job as chief sales guy at Webshore. Tell me, how's it going?
Grant, it's going really, really well. I'm very grateful for that. We've done certain things in the business with Marius, and we worked really well together, and he had a very clear plan. He understood where it was going. He's very different when it comes to selling, selling a product than when I sell the product. But what's been really amazing is how we've been able to really mix those two and really come out with where we are right now. So it's really great. I'm loving life. And from the very beginning, Grant, the value that we were able to provide to a customer, obviously a lead or a prospect at the time, but the value we are able to provide is so phenomenal that it's very difficult for me not to share that. So it was like, you getting so much from us. And this is the one thing that I never did, is I never looked at it as I'm the business and this is the way I do it. It's actually us. And it was Grant and the team and everybody in the UK. It was actually a team that I used to go in with mentally. So I always used to use the value of, it's not just me, it's actually a full company. I'm selling you a service and a solution that's going to help benefit your business, but it's a whole team that's there to support you. So from the very beginning, it was like, absolute, this is what I do. But when I met up with Marius, and then we started obviously engaging and we started doing certain things together, he had a very different approach. And I loved the approach because it was based on fact. Mine was based on sales, and I understood the sales pitch and understood how to engage with the customer, make them feel comfortable. And we incorporated those two to become what we have now. And it's just, obviously with the sales, I mean, it shows, so it really shows. Yeah.
So just to sort of dig into that a bit, Marius' style of selling is more of a technical sale.
Correct.
So he uses technical stats. In fact, we were talking about this last night, where when Marius sells, he uses actually a different sales approach to the way you sell. And so what you've brought to the business, and effectively Marius wanted to kind of retire himself from sales, which is why you collaborated with him. And what to sort of finish that story off, what's happened is you've kind of become, I call it, an intrapreneur. Because you're still dancing for your dinner, you're commission-based salesperson. So you're kind of like your own business. When you're a commission-based salesperson, you're still an entrepreneur, because if you don't sell, just like the rest of us, you don't get paid. The crazy thing is, you're selling like a maniac. So that process that you went through with Marius was, and again, let me kind of put some context. The reason I really like to talk to you is, there could be other collaborations like this within the Blam Partnership Program. There could be people like you who love selling, but the business side of thing, wasn't necessarily your cup of tea, you know, but you could sell all day long.
Yeah.
And there might be some partners that don't like selling, but they love the business side of it, you know. And
Correct.
so you and Marius have found this perfect fit, you know, where you've got the best of both. And so by sharing your story, I'm just wondering whether, you know, there are other partners out there that love selling, but they don't like that, and vice versa. Because if there are, let me know. Let's see if we can do some connecting up. So tell me, we've got a mastermind group that you join in with on behalf of Webshore. All of our top partners are in a mastermind group that I host, and we all share our numbers at the end of each week. When we asked you how many sales you'd made last week, you said 9. How do you make 9 sales in a week?
So Grant, you know what? It's really and the ethos of where we at. It's really about following up, getting on a call, speaking to the customer. When you meet with a customer, you go through a process, and I'll share that with you if you want.
Yeah.
But to close a deal is really to not have any barriers. It's not about being shy, or I'm not confident, or I'm a bit worried. I don't know what they're going to tell me. It's really just catching up. It's following up. And you've got to do that on a regular basis. And you've got to do the follow-ups, and you've got to do the calls, and you've got to be on WhatsApp, and you've got to be on emails. So the more they know you're top of mind, what I've realized is that they realize, and my style of selling is, they realize that I'm actually serious about business. I'm serious about getting your business to succeed online. And if I'm serious about it, then I'm going to action the seriousness. I'm going to keep following up. I'm going to keep calling you. And we can go through the nuance of what that call means. You know, like, how do I speak to them? What's the tone? You know, I do a number of things. But if I don't do that, the sales don't close that easily. But if I am doing it, that's non-sales. That's simple. There's no massive equation involved in how you close a deal. It's actually just following up, having a conversation. You know, how's it, Grant? It was great meeting with you on Tuesday. I'm just following up. You've seen the proposal. Where are you at the moment? Can we move ahead? I mean, it's not a major, but you've got to be doing those little things. There's an abbreviation that I like to use, the ABC, and my mentality is ABC. It's always be closing. But what does that really mean? It means that I'm talking to you, I'm engaging with you, I'm WhatsApping you, I'm sending you an email, I'm sending an SMS, I'm communicating with you. They know that I'm serious, and they know it from the minute they meet me. But I'm not arrogant, and I'm not pushy. I'm just serious. And there's a big difference between serious and then just being arrogant, or serious and then just being pushy. And that's why we got the non-sales. Grant, this doesn't come easy. You got to be on a call. You got to be on a meeting. You got to do the drive. I mean, we drive. The policy for us is that we meet every single one of our clients before we do any proposals, so that we can understand their business, ask them the right questions. And then we got to make sure it follows through. I'll give you a simple example. I think and again, I shared this with Marius this morning. I think today we signed the second fastest deal within Webshore, because I met the client, phoned us on Wednesday, connected with us on Wednesday through Google, obviously, and Google My Business. I called them on Wednesday afternoon. I set up the meeting yesterday. They signed the proposal this morning. Sorry, Grant, I can't hear you. I don't know why.
It may be that the Bluetooth mic is gone. We've got to embrace the beauty of technology.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
We can indeed.
Yes.
Brilliant. Yeah. So was that the solar company?
Yes.
Fantastic. So, and so, in terms of your process, then, I just want to pick up on something that you said, and it's a really simple little thing that is so important, and loads of people don't do. You asked if they wanted to go ahead. You actually asked to close the deal. So many people tiptoe around asking for the money.
Yeah.
Do Do you want to move forward? Do you want to go ahead? Shall we do this? Can I get your okay?
Yeah.
And what you're telling me is that you follow up, WhatsApp, text, email, a proposal, follow up, phone call. And each time it's, I'm following up. How you doing? Do you want to move forward?
Hundreds.
That's it.
It's 100%. And again, based on my personality and the way I speak, I said, okay, so you've forgotten about me. So I've got no value in your life right now, but I'm doing it in a joking way. And they said, oh, no, Pete, it's not that. It's just we've been busy. I said, okay, Laka, you understand where I'm coming from. I obviously want to help your business grow. We've discussed this process. Where were you at? Where are you at right now? And I've had a number of different customers saying to me, you know what, I'm looking at the budget and I'm saying, I'm not too sure. And then I say to them, okay, so if you're not sure about, let's say, 500 quid, I'm just giving an example. Are you sure about 250? You know what, Pete, that's actually a very good idea. Yes, 250 works for me. I'm not doing discounts. I'm not doing anything. I'm just giving them a starting point. Then they feel comfortable and they think, you know what, Peter's actually thinking about my business. Let's start here. Let's build the journey and then let's get you going. And to be honest, this is the funny thing. I learned this. It's become a reality for me when we were first on a call with you and with Ed at the time. And you said, okay, Pete, where would you be comfortable to get started? And what that does is it takes away barrier. It takes away this, you're such a sales guy and you just want to sell. And when customers have told me that before, I said to them, what do you think I'm doing? Do you think I do this for free? Of course I'm a sales guy. I need to make money. I'm going to go out there and obviously grow. But the money is one part of my process. The reality is that I want you to grow. And yes, of course I'm going to make money. Do you think it's for free? And then they have a nice chat and then we have a nice giggle, but they get it. I'm being honest.
I love that because it's kind of, you put the package together that suits their budget rather than discounting.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And I never discount. So we did one, and it was quite interesting when I listened to you. And we did one, and I sat with Marius, and he said, okay, I don't know. Again, we were going through the nuances of it, and he said, okay, so it was a customer that I was working with for a while. He said, okay, if you're keen, okay, let's go. And again, it's turned out to be quite a tricky one. So I don't discount. There is no discount.
No.
And when a customer asks me if there's a discount or the pricing, or they might be confused a little bit about the pricing, what's a lot, I'll give them a very simple example. I'll say to them, okay, can you do me a favor? Why don't you go online right now and go and find a junior marketing manager for your company? Go and find one. Go and check what the price is for one individual that will be able to do what you're asking me to provide you. When you find that specific individual, you'll notice that it's sometimes 3 or 4 times the amount that we charge. And now, when you've got that in front of you, I'm going to give you another analogy. Where else would you find this price with 17 professionals dealing with your business? They don't know what to say, because then they stumped. Then they really, okay, Pete, there's nothing else I can say to you about that. And then we cross over and we have a conversation. Yeah.
So I think it's what's quite key about this presentation, this event, is that what you're kind of demonstrating there is your belief in the value, your absolute steadfast belief in the value. And without that, it's difficult to be as confident as that.
Totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. From the minute that when I started, when I was a partner and we went through the training process and we did the digital marketer, and we went through that whole customer journey, that whole training. I mean, I cannot tell you how I ate that up. It was like food for me. It was like I was so hungry that I didn't know that I was so hungry. And then I just got all this information and I was so super excited to go out. And I spoke to everybody. I didn't wait. I didn't ask. I mean, there was a point where you say, you know what, call your friends and ask them, I'm starting this business, which is a nice way to do when you're starting.
Yeah.
But I said, I don't need just to go to my friends. I'm going to go to everyone. Do you have a website? I mean, I asked the simple thing, and at the time, Grant, I was selling websites and mobile apps. I mean, that was my main focus. And I just spoke to everybody. I didn't care who they were. I wasn't shy. I wasn't nervous. I just wanted to engage. You know, do you have a website? Do you like your website? Is it working for you? You know, I haven't spoken to my developer for 3 years. I said to them, what are you kidding me? So what are you doing with your website? No, it's just stuck. I said, can I help you? I would love to be part of the process of helping your business grow. And it's just having a conversation. I think as new partners, what happens is we might get stuck in being shy or introverted or like, I don't know what to really say. What do you mean? This is awesome stuff. I've got a website that I can build for you. And if you've got one, that's great. Fantastic. Do you have someone that doesn't have a great one?
There's enough of them out there. There are enough of them out there.
Exactly.
So
And
just to kind of talk about, you've now sold what, blooming God knows how many customers you must have sold now just in the last few months, because you started was it October? Was it you started?
Yes. Yeah.
So you must have sold what? How many customers now?
And now we're sitting on 60.
60 customers. Wow, fantastic! That's awesome. So I'm guessing you've got some pretty good success stories that are helping you to, you know, enjoy the fact that you've been able to provide something that these guys really needed.
Absolutely. It's really like when we started and I was with Marius, one of the cool things that I enjoyed, you said something quite interesting in the beginning. There's, you know, I'm an entrepreneur because I'm still, obviously, I'm commission based. So I definitely have to look at my numbers, what I'm doing, planning correctly. Is my diary fully booked? Am I speaking to enough customers? You know, those nuances are always going to be in sales. You've got to have sales coming in so that your business can grow. So I've got all of that. But when I had started, I had the same mentality, but my biggest struggle was when it came to the financial, the administrative, all those back end things that I was really not very good at doing. And I know you know that because we've dealt together, we've spoken together about this. And when I joined with Marius, what I really loved is how absolutely focused he was on how to manage the finances, how he knows how to build a business, his mentality in how to grow a business. I wasn't there, Grant. I didn't have that. So for me, it was like, oh my word, this is amazing stuff. And I just wanted to grow on that and learn from him. And then what we did is we went through a process of practicing and talking and going through stuff. And I mean, we shared, I think it was 2 months where we sat down and we went through the two-way process, the 2 ways to become successful online. And I used to pray. And I was shocking when I started. It was like, what do you mean? I can't do this? Are you joking? And then we got through it. And then we came to a point where it was, okay, Pete, go out there. Start doing your thing. We need to do your thing. And I signed a customer just before we closed off the 2 ways. It was still in October. And it was a once-off customer. Okay, cool. I signed the deal. I came back to the office and I said to Marius, listen, I signed my first deal. So he looked at me funny. He said, what do you mean? I said, you signed your first deal and you're not excited? I said, you're joking. I'm super excited. But I was just like, wow, we've got over the first one. And then since then, it's just been ongoing. Every time we meet with a customer, we close a deal and it's just been exciting. But the success story in where we are and how I feel now is digital marketing is so valuable in the marketplace right now. There's so much that you can do, and there's so many reasons why a business needs it. My passion, obviously Marius's passion, our passion is to be able to speak to as many people as we can about how we can help you become successful through digital marketing, because there's so much value. So I don't even worry about the value that we're going to provide because I know it's going to be there. So I go into a meeting these days and I literally hit the discovery. That's what I do. So Grant, thanks for reaching out. It's really a pleasure. Nice to meet you. You know what? I'm going to ask you a simple question. What is your main pain point? What are you struggling with right now? And I just keep quiet. I say nothing. I don't even blink. I just wait. And then the customer speaks to me, oh no, I'm struggling with leads, or you know what, I have this website and it's so like, I don't know what to do with it. And it's so quick. Oh, you're struggling with leads? Okay, fantastic. I know a solution that I can provide. Oh, you're struggling with conversion or your website? Absolutely, no problem. We know exactly where to start with you. And once we get through that conversation, I'm done. And I think maybe I'm answering your question. Do you know what I love? I love engaging with people. I love talking to other entrepreneurs, other business owners to help them.
Yeah.
That's the best part of what I do every single day. I meet with entrepreneurs or business owners or MDs, doesn't matter. I'm meeting with other brilliant individuals that want to do something cool. They want to do something amazing on digital marketing, and we're the perfect fit for them. Awesome. Here we are.
And you can sense your enthusiasm, mate. You always have been able to, and it is infectious. It really is infectious.
Thank you, Grant. No, I love it. I love it. It's just, I don't know what else to say. And where we are, and maybe
questions for Peter. We've got a few people on. Feel free to just raise your hand or unmute and ask away. If you want to know anything about sales, now is your opportunity for somebody who sells like hotcakes, quite literally. But don't keep him too long, because I understand Marius has got the braai on the go. I smell it from where you are right now.
I love it, Grant. Yeah, he does, yeah.
So a braai, if anybody doesn't know, is a barbecue in South Africa. And Marius cooks a mean braai. And as it's Friday afternoon, he's got the braai on the go in the office. If you can hear us, Marius, we'd love to have a look. If you haven't got your hands full with the chops. I don't know whether we'll get a sneak peek. He sent me a photo of it earlier.
Oh wow.
That's the thing I look forward to a lot when I go over to South Africa, that you do know how to cook your meat. There he is.
There he is.
You got the there it is. It's on the go. Fantastic. What are you going to have? A nice bit of pork, lamb? What's it going to be? Steak? Oh, you're on mute, mate. You're on mute, Marius.
Marius, you're on mute.
You're on mute.
Sorry, I bought some lamb and some sausage, or boerewors, as it's called here.
And have you got is the team going to be joining you, or is it just you and Peter?
You won't believe me, the team is all still working. I said, now you can switch off. It's time to have a braai. So they're coming out one by one to come and join us.
It's like when we have the street food outside our office. It's like Marius' street food, isn't it?
100%, yeah.
You need to get a sign made, mate, every Friday.
Yeah, well, this is the first Friday we're doing this, so it's something new. I got the braai for the office, and I said, let's do this on a Friday. Might not be every Friday, but hopefully most of them. We work so hard and we work long hours. It's time to just chill a little bit with the staff and have a little bite, eh?
Sounds like a plan. Brilliant. Listen, guys,
Awesome.
I'll let you get to your braai. Peter, I really appreciate you sharing your experience and your time with us, and it's great to see you motoring. I'll no doubt see you a bit later in the year when I'm popped back over, and maybe we'll do a live. We could even run an event from the office over there. Maybe that's a bit of an idea.
Yeah. I look forward to it. Grant, thank you. Thank you for all your support. I just wanted to let you know, from my side, you've been always very supportive. You've always been there. You've been committed. You've been present. So I do thank you for my journey, because a lot of it has to do with you and a lot of it has to do with Marius. But I want to thank you, and good luck to all the partners. I mean, it's just amazing.
I've just remembered one thing, Peter. It would be remiss of me not to mention, how's your car going, mate?
Oh, it's amazing. It is amazing. I can't even tell you, every night I get into the car, and obviously when I go home or come to work, I say, I can't believe that this has actually happened.
When I was over there in February, it was hilarious. So Peter had hit Matt, when Peter first started, Marius gave him a ridiculous target to hit, and he said, if you hit that target, I'll get you a brand new company car. And it was a really fancy little sports car. And I think you missed it by one, didn't you? By one, was it something like 25 sales you had to do? Was it 25 sales in 3 months? Was it?
Yes.
Yeah, 25 sales in 3 months, which at the time I thought there's just no chance he's going to get anywhere near that. He got 24 sales. And so I arrived to spend the week there working over it with the team. And Marius said to me, he's got 24 sales. He said, so I told him, he's not got the car. So, because he missed it by one, absolutely stone-faced, but he'd ordered the car. So the customer, the car was being sold by the garage, and the garage was one of the customers. And Marius made up this story that the customer was super upset and that he needed to take Peter along to the garage. And I was in the back, and I said, I'm just going to be in the background, and Peter's going to smooth it over. And I'm not sure what there was, like some heated words exchanged whilst I was stood trying to hide Peter's name that was on the plaque of the brand new car that had the cover on it. And anyway, the sales manager had kind of had enough because Marius was stone-faced, because I can't do this anymore. And he just gave you the keys. He said he was starting to feel bad for Peter because Peter was trying to calm him down.
Yeah.
You got this amazing little car, mate. It looked awesome. It was so well deserved, but that was a brilliant little moment, I thought.
It was a long, hard haul, and I'm not talking about here. I'm talking about for the past 10 years. It was a difficult ride, and to get to that place, it was just an emotionally such a grateful moment. I wanted to break down, but I was so full of joy that I couldn't. And I'm so grateful for the fact that it happened. So I was like, wow. I'm still, when I look at it, I say, I can't believe it.
Well earned, mate, and well deserved. And yeah, next one will be a Ferrari, Marius told me.
Did he tell you, lekker?
Yeah, I'm not sure the customers would be that chuffed with you pulling up in one of those.
No, we're not buying from you. Sorry.
These guys can't be good value if he's buying that. And on that note, guys, I'll wish you all a fantastic weekend. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Marius, Janani, John, of course, David. Thank you so much for all of your time today. And don't forget, guys, you will have picked up a nugget from this event. There will be something that, or there may be a few things, hopefully, but the key thing is you have to implement straight away, because these events can become a fond memory, they can fade, and by Monday you'll be back into the grind and you'll be doing things just the way you were this week and the week before. So put the wheels in motion right now, make stuff happen. And don't forget, you can reach out on the chat if you're watching this on whatever platform. You can visit Dave and Rahman's website. You have my details too. To your success, guys, remember, value yourselves, value your business, value your products, and have all the very best success. Thank you, guys.